like the facial expression this time.
Yeah,
What's up, bro?
nothing much, man. Back
Another
again.
one. Back
Another one
again.
with another brick stacked.
Mm-hmm. Man, today has just been a day, huh?
Yeah, yeah. And we've been through some days. We've seen some stuff, man. So I don't know. It's I think it might be some late stage capitalism. I don't know. The days are spinning. Maybe those astronauts in space. We can dive more into that. They're still stuck up there. They're throwing off the planet's tilt because man, I feel like I think I woke up. I woke up this morning. I was um, 32. Right now, I'm 47, and all the other stuff I got to do by midnight, I'll be probably dead. So hopefully, hopefully, things kind of slow down. But how you doing, man? How your day been?
Good, man. It started off all right, and then it took a turn. All it takes is one meeting to kind of, you know, just just fuck things up.
Yeah.
But a question for you on your point. So, what would you think creatively? Where do you find yourself like most productive? At what hours of the day you think?
That's interesting. I just had a conversation with a friend of ours. They like to wake up like 2 a.m. and begin their work day, or they tell themselves they're beginning their work day. They're really prepping themselves to start working at 7. For me, I'm more of an afternoon guy. Like around 5, like the stuff I'm really passionate about. Um, I like to, take an afternoon nap, then and get to it around like 5:30. I'm notorious for going to Starbucks around 6 o'clock in the afternoon and just powering through, throwing these same headphones on, of course, the power beanie, and getting stuff done, between uh, 6 and 12. Ooh, a good 12:30, 12:30 with some acid jazz, with a comedy special. You might get a lot of solid work till about 2:30 a.m. for me. So, yeah, yeah,
Nice. Yeah, I'm the same way. Like I'm trying to like change that. I think like we implemented a couple weeks ago our morning meetings weeklies on Thursday. You and I just to talk business, and the first one I fucking missed because I completely forgot to set an alarm. So,
yeah,
uh, just trying to rewire my system to be more awake and attentive at an early hour. But I just feel like I'll never be able to change the fact that I just unlock a completely different side of my brain when the sun goes down, and it's like from like 5:36 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. That like window of time, I need to try my best not to fall asleep or just get off balance in a way because like that's when I'm probably my most like slump. Like I finished doing my shit during the day, and then I want to shift gears to focus on what I really care about. If I make it through that little window of time, I can really tap into that focus. It's interesting you say you put on a comedy special because I've done that several times. Something about and like there have been comedians that speak on this, right? Like I think comedians are like some of the smartest people. I think that not all of them, obviously, but some of them really have you know a sense of the pulse of society and what triggers a human being. I mean, they literally have people laughing uncontrollably, right? Laughter is something that you can't really control. You just laugh because you think your body is just it just does it. And so the way that they like examine human beings and patterns in our society is really commendable. And yeah, I'll just be like designing and I'll hear a point about how some would be like, "Oh, that's interesting." And I think like I don't know, like that like little insight as you're working cuz I don't know, I don't really get like insights through like music, right? Like music can fuel creativity and make me feel inspired and motivated, but it's more so like keeping my heartbeat going and keeping a rhythm to it. Having a source of input like that, like a comedic element, but also like thought provoking, I think that can have a some weight to your creative work. I feel, um, yeah.
No, yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. What's what I'm inspired to do in the future in my YouTube endeavors, that I'm inspired by comedy. I've I'm looking to start a hate channel. I'm gonna start a YouTube channel of hate. Hate is always fun. I just like hate. Just hate on like avocados, hate on the Dallas Cowboys or something. You know, like that's always that gets me focused. That gets me really working. You know, I hate channel. There's a lot of them out there. You should check some out. Um, but yeah, that negativity I can mold into positive, productive design. That's also my thing outside of comedy. It's really good.
Dude, we need to chop up the raw footage because you've cracked several jokes on this on this show that I feel like you can flush those ideas and concepts out more, and you write like you write a whole joke, like you deliver the joke, or like a message, not just a
Yeah.
joke, but a thought provoking message. Bro, and I can hate on the Dallas Cowboys all day. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Saints 2-0 now.
Yeah.
We made them look like light work the other day. So, um, yeah, no, that's cool. But I had a question for you. So over the last weekend, uh, we had a member in our group that unfortunately just can't uh, walk around so easy and can't go up and down steps to get on the platform for the red line and shit. So we had to take some Ubers. Don't mind taking Ubers. Love taking Uber. Uh, would do you prefer when you get into Uber for them to not speak at all, or you want a little chit chat?
Um. So here's the thing. Shout out to Carrie Foe. No small talk. Uh, Plug that song in there. Um. Not a big fan of small talk. Especially force small talk. This is what they should do in these instances. They need to put a way for you to put the topic you want to talk about. Just select, do that type AI. Like, what would you like to talk about today? Type in, I want to talk about whatever. You know what I'm saying? I want to talk about Japanese films, something, and force that person, the driver, then has to talk about that. I'll be more engaged if I get in a car and you start talking about you know stuff that has nothing to do with me. I'm not going to be into that. What I hate when I get into these fancy little taxis is when it's some old person going to be ageist, some old person, and they want to like, oh, when did you graduate high school? Did you play on the basketball team or like like fam? I'm literally like we're the same age. Why are you talking to me like I just went to prom yesterday? Like what? Um, or just when they you get in and they're like, oh, the weather, the traffic, the everything's expensive. No shit, Sherlock. Of course is that. Let's get to the nitty gritty. What are you asking me? But do you want like my political beliefs? I want the whole world to be destroyed. So let's talk about that. Destruction of the planet. How can we get there faster? That is an Uber ride I want to be in. Discussing how we can bring, you know, the world to its knees. You get 5 stars from me. You're gonna get a tip. If we can move on that plan and then you bring that point to the next person, oh, let's do that to the UI. The driver picks what they want to talk about, you pick what you want to talk about, and you then connect it. So for me, let's say I was talking about destruction of the world and you get into the Uber and you want to talk about good old Canes, right? How can Canes and the destruction of the world come together? How can we do it through chicken? We kind of did it a little bit with Popeyes and their chicken sandwich, right? That brought the world to its knees.
Yeah.
So how can we keep moving? If the audience you're wondering, I'm high out my mind. That's how I'm coming up with these ideas. But we're just gonna keep moving, man. But yeah, not
No,
a fan of the small talk.
yeah, same. I mean, all right, a couple things. So, very interesting concept. I'm just imagining being like on the, side of the street, you call the Uber. There's an automation that gets put into place where there's a little chat bot that pops up and it prompts your discussion topic and it's like, okay, when the driver arrives, this is what y'all going to talk about or something like that. And like you're prompted with thinking of your favorite movie. You have 5 minutes till they pull up, and you got to think of your favorite movie or whatever it may be. That's interesting. Um, but no, I'm right there with you. Like, if you don't talk at all, and you just every Uber I get in, I immediately say, "Hey, how you doing?"
Mhm.
Without question. I never miss that, and they always, most of them are good. How about you? Right after that, if you don't mind, just keep it silent, go about our way, you get me there safely and you will receive 20% tip, right? No question. Now, on the other end of that, like you're saying, like if you run in your mouth, they had this lady over the weekend, bro, clear as day. Like I don't understand these Ubers, right? It'd be different if like we're like in a limo where there's like a partitioner. I don't know if that's the right word, but like the little like wall in between. This lady had her phone just like this and she was just as she was driving, she's like merging on the interstate. She's checking her bets, her football bets, and then texting as she's driving, and then like and you gonna expect a tip after that? No, you know what I'm saying? Like and really like when it comes to Uber, I know like tipping is like a controversial thing because it's like, or at least what I've heard, people like question why you need a tip because you're paying for the service. Like I can kind of understand some of that argument, like but really, like, if you get me there safely, you're a nice person, I have no problem with tipping, but if you're gonna just, like, blatantly text and drive, be swerving and shit, your car smells funky, like, you're not I'm sorry, you're not and I mean, it's done me well so far, you know? We can do this live. Let me fucking pull up my Uber. I'll give my Uber score right now. Let's see. 4.97. Pretty solid, I'd say. Uh, and that's I mean, I'm not sure how I see how many trips I've taken, but I've taken a lot of fucking trips. I don't have a vehicle. I've taken a lot of trips. I pay the Uber membership, Uber One or whatever it's called every month. So um, yeah, I don't know. That was just something I was thinking about. I wanted to see what you had to think, but the the prompt conversation is interesting because it's like that's one thing you have to talk about, and then you don't have to talk for the rest of the ride. It's and I'm kind of like hypocritical about that because like I do have this like Southern hospitality thing where like in my building I'll get in the elevator and I'll want to like ask the other person like, hey, how's your day going, right? And I've done that before and they just won't respond, right? Or I'll tell them like, hey, have a good day when they get out the elevator, no response. Some of them would be like, you too, and they'll be taken back at the fact that you did that, which is cool. But um, yeah, I don't know. And then uh, there's something else I wanted to ask you about the Ubers or public transportation. Uh, Damn it, I don't know, it got away from me. Sorry.
But I really, I really hate that we don't have it. Well, where I'm at, better public transportation or just how cities are designed in general. They pretty much suck. I feel like, man, I should be able to get to Chicago like in the next 6 hours, easy train, bullet train, at least to Dallas, pretty quickly. Um, yeah, Uber sucks. I don't have Uber on my phone anymore. Uh, I'm 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 boycotting. I'm only using Lyft now, even though they're the
Mm,
same thing. I'm using Lyft. For a while, when I was in Austin, Waze had their own version of uh, like a Uber. Like you carpool and you pay like $5, but it was a recurring thing, so you would get the same carpool and you'll kind of build up a rapport with the person. So in Austin, for the Austin people listening, I would uh, Manor Road. I would meet someone and catch a. We would carpool basically downtown to West Six. So and I was paying like five. I think it was like $5 a week. I could be wrong. It was something super cheap. I think they deaded that service about maybe a year and a half ago. But it's this new one I've been checking out called Hitch. All you rideshare companies, hit us up at hello@brickbrick.us so we can start some payments going, some sponsorships. But Hitch, Hitch is a service where you can catch longer trips. So like if you're in Chicago and you're headed to St. Louis or something, catch a ride, pay a certain fee, just carpool to St. Louis or Houston to San Antonio, that's a cool service as well. What I would like to see also added, besides the prompt conversation, is music selection. Not like, oh, if you want to hear music or not, but I want a certain genre or album or playlist, like just load it up. You know what I'm saying? Like really, really get into it. I want to hear that some Blue Note jazz. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear that new Nicky Jams album. Like something like that. Some Bad Bunny, depending on the mood, right? Because what if you're out with your lady. You went out to a fancy little restaurant. You're going back to the crib. You want to hear something. You want to get some. You want to get some shaking. You're already in a bag. You're like sneaking, feeling on a thigh or something. Getting something going. Set the mood. So you don't want this guy talking about God knows what, or whoever this person is talking about whatever. Also, add a playlist. Set the vibe. I don't want to hear sports radio at this time. Throw on something. Maybe some UK drill will get your girl going. Who knows? But set the like, what's the vibe for the ride? No talking, a little acid jazz, some Jamiroquai, maybe. Who knows? Get it going. That also, you gotta enhance the experience of these rides. We're moving. We're really moving on to something. We definitely at Brick by Brick need to do some consulting to these car companies for sure. Um, yeah.
Something else I want to talk to you about. I know, we were talking off air, just, moves that we're making on the brick by brick side, cold outreach, so this is a very daunting task for many, and it's part of the business. And when you're starting out, you need to contact people that never heard from you ever before, and you really got to sell yourself. You really got to pitch your business. You have to be convincing. You have to be, convincing. You have to just solve a problem for them and make them realize how valuable your product or your service is to that company. So my question to you is, through your research of stuff that you've done before, and also just as a consumer in today's society, and as a human being, what are some, or you just give me, you don't have to give me several, but just like, can you call out one or two um, cold emails, like spam, or text messages, or really anything that you've seen that has been like, oh wow, that's pretty well done, like any, because I know like some best practices of cold outreach, right? Like, um, the subject line, it matters so much. Personalization, right? Finding that name, that first sentence is everything. Um, have you had any like personal experience there? Have you seen anything like wild, or that you found impactful that may work?
Yeah, actually. So back in the day before, um, this was like, I think the Motorola Razor was still a thing. iPhone didn't came out, but I wasn't too early. I didn't understand the greatness of the iPhone then. But when I had this Razor, I was also working at a call center that was selling magazines. think it was magazines, and the goal was to get to the decision maker. So you would have this information, and literally, I would have to be like, "May I speak to this person or the decision maker?" And I would have to try to get up the org chart as much as possible to sell them X, Y, Z. That was my first experience with something like that, that cold outreach, which was very daunting because who wants to buy a goddamn magazine? You're at your job back then anyway. Like, you're not going to take any calls. I don't think I've ever sold not one at that time. I don't even remember what we were selling. And then I worked as a salesman once, and the beginning of my shift, I had to make 10 calls to just random people to see if they wanted to, oh, you were approved for 5 grand. I see you're interested in this uh, French door refrigerator, that thing. Um, but the cold outreach that really gets me, that's been going around, is there's two. Of course, my Nigerian roots. Uh, they get me every time. Like, they always need help in email. Those are the greatest cold call outreach that's being done. And a new one that's on the block is these emails about, they can see what porn you're watching, and if you don't send them, I know, guy like you, you're not getting those emails. We're on VPNs, but for the rest of us, these like ransom notes of, oh, we see your search history. You're a freaky boy. Send me 10,000 Bitcoin or I'm gonna release it. Fam, no one's ashamed of what porn they're looking at. This is not a thing that's gonna get, like, I'm not gonna send you a Bitcoin because you see me looking at Riley Reed or whoever, right? Like, let the world know. Let the world know. Okay, I'm okay with the world knowing my porn preference. So those are the new guys on the block using Bitcoin and trying to hold you hostage with your porn, which is weird because I live in Texas and Pornhub is
Mm.
banned. So I can't even get to that. And these other sites, they're not responsive enough for me to be on my phone looking at them. I got to bring it up on the TV back there, if anything, right? That's how, like, my porn, high definition, 55-inch plasma. So yeah, so those are the guys who inspire me. And when it comes to cold call outreach, they don't care. They're shooting their shots. They're like Kyle Korver on that 3 point line. They're just shooting it, right? Just got to keep shooting. Be confident in your shots. And hey, if you go 3 for 78, that's a lot. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
yeah, that's my thoughts on that.
Yeah, those are some fucking wild ones. But what's that quote? Like, you miss 100% of the shots you never
Yep.
take or you don't take.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I mean, that's what cold calling is. For me, like, I know one of them within the last like few years, the USPS, like, and they've been like, the timing has been incredibly accurate for those. It'll be like right around the time that I actually receive a package. So I don't know what's going on there. That's kind of alarming that they have some access to um, some relevant information based around like um, packages getting delivered. So that's kind of worrisome. But as far as email, like, I've gotten shit like, they'll pick apart my personal website, bradennaquin.com. They'll say something's wrong with it. I pull it up, none's wrong with it. I've gotten some that are clearly spam, but that'll be like first line or subject line is like, your family's in danger. Um, like some
Yeah.
really just like I get it, right? Like, you want the user to open the email, but like if you do some off the wall shit immediately like that, like it's I don't know, it just makes me not even want to read the rest of the email. Like
Yeah.
be funny, be like interesting or something like that. Like I remember like reading a report like that they saw like the open percentage on emails were higher if the email came from a woman, and then like someone made a joke like impersonating a woman and it ended up working. I don't know the details, but um just like have some fun with, like, just don't be like all the other email lead gen people, I guess is my point. And like, that goes to like a list that you showed me this morning, like the extensive amount of um just verbiage that we can use is not just like the same shit over and over again. So the experimentation piece is like the most important. Like, how do we i- get these people to open the email? How do we get them to read past the first line, the second line, click that CTA? And yeah, I think just cold calling is just interesting for the human race. Just like being contacted out of nowhere by somebody and then praying that that ends up in a business relationship. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Um, but cool, yeah. Let's wrap this one up, man. It was a quick little chit chat. I like just chopping it up with you. We don't have to have fucking news topics every episode. So, uh, for those listening, be on the lookout. Next episode is the most successful rebrands. I know Melton and I are looking forward to that one because we enjoyed the last one. So for the successful rebrands, I think we'll even have more to say on why they saw success in their rebrand, what really worked for them, both visually and financially across their business. So yeah. Any other points you got for the people, Melt?
Stay safe. Use the
Stacey?
VPN. Don't fall for the virtual cold calling of,
Mm.
you know, talk about freaking Home Depot and all of a sudden Home Depot ads pop up. Be careful. Keep low. Stay focused, and we'll make it through. It's about to be a rough 6 months.
Yeah, nice. Well, looking forward to for us personally, next, like you said, yeah, next few months will be
First, it'll be
no
productive. It's gonna
productive.
be it's gonna be
Yeah,
big.
it'll be big. We'll see some growth next few months.
Yeah.
So, yeah, appreciate everyone for tuning in another week. Look out for that episode coming next week. Most successful rebrands, and yeah, have a good rest of your week.